Yes.
All right, David?
How many of you are familiar with the expression, kick the bucket? You know the morbid history behind that? It was when people, you would be standing on the bucket with a rope around your neck, and they would come up and kick the bucket, and you were dead. So that's where, when people became to die, it became known as kick the bucket. From that became the phrase bucket list. Before you die, it would be, here's a list of items that I want to get completed or try to complete before somebody comes out and kicks the bucket from underneath me. So that's kind of a little bit of trivia about where the term bucket list comes from. Now these can be, for bucket list items, they're pretty much anything you want them to be. Most people for their bucket list items are pretty big ticket type items. For example, here's some of mine. Visit Rome. Have scouts in my troop 5-10 years from now say, I remember when Mr. McCaughey did this for us. Have my kids grow up to be a better person than me. Have people refer to me, he's the most helpful person I know. And then visit all 50 state capitals. Just some example of various bucket list type items that people have. This summer I was down in the central Ozark area of Missouri, and I was visiting a church on a Sunday. And the preacher comes in that day and he starts to tell this story about compassion and kindness and being friendly and helpful. It was about a 92-year-old lady in that town that she had one item left on her bucket list. And it was how everybody in the town got together, joined together, became really helpful, and they helped this lady complete all of the items on her bucket list. Well, that just didn't set right with me. It just, something about his story just bugged me and bothered me. And I just kept sitting there and thinking, you know, it's not right. Your bucket list should never be empty. All you do is picture this lady. The next morning she gets up, she's probably in a nursing home with just a small little apartment, and she's sitting there with, now what do I do? And it just, the whole time I was sitting there thinking, your bucket list, should it ever really be empty? No matter how old, my 18-year-old kids, I've talked to this about him, for a kid it's easy. I want to graduate college, I want to get a car, I want to go out and get a job, start my career. So their bucket list at that age is really, really full. And then as you get older, you cross more and more items off and your list gets smaller and smaller. But I think you should always, as you cross something off, you need to start finding something new to replace it and just keep adding to that list. It's nothing, to me, it's not a failure when you pass away to end up having, I've got 5 items left on my list. It's like, I don't see anything wrong with that. You're not really a failure in life. I'm not going to be listed as a failure if I only get to 49 out of 50 state capitals. So it's, but it is something that if I'm 92 years old and I wake up some morning and it's like, what am I going to do today? It's like, oh, I've never been to the Rhode Island State Capitol. It gives me a reason or a purpose to go out there and continue on and to continue doing something. So I say that as you get older, you always need to continue to replenish your bucket list, and your bucket list should never ever be empty.